You know, one of the things I don't very rarely, I've often do is pray. I do believe in God, but I've never. But it's very rare. Sometimes when I'm really, really desperate, when I think like rings are really, really bad, somehow, and I don't know why, and this is coming from someone who's not even a religious person, I just get on my knees and I pray by the bedside when nobody's around, nobody's looking. Just kind of hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone is listening and someone's responding. You know, when you really feel that, you know, because you can feel like, and we all experience it in some way, shape, or form, some more than others, where that you're the only one who understands what you're going through, and that nobody else understands that. Nobody understands what you're going through, and you can feel very, very lonely. And I know, because as I've mentioned many times, I've experienced that for you guys. Welcome everyone who's come. Hope you guys are all doing well. Ginger Lefty, Doc Davis, Vicky, Trips. Ever notice that the people who are the greatest danger to others and to themselves never seek mental health care voluntarily? It might be because I'm talking a bit low, Trip. Might be that. Let me just have a quick check on the audio. I'll turn it up a little bit. I turned it up a little bit. Hopefully it's not too much. You know what? It's the hardest thing, Vicky, I would say, is people being able to accept there's something wrong with yourself. It's just like in politics, where you when nobody likes to be proven wrong, and when you're found to be wrong about something, it can, or you know you're still deep down that you're deep down you're wrong. It's really hurtful, and it can make you trigger certain emotions, negative emotions, in doing so. I would say on that as well. So let me just put it straight of what is mental health, because really, I'll break it down into a simplistic. So I actually decided to ask Google AI, what is mental health? And this is what Google AI said to me when it comes to this, guys. So it says, quote, mental health is a personal, emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It encompasses how we think, feel, and act, and how we cope with stress related to others and make choices. Good mental health allows us to realize our abilities to learn and work well and contribute to our community. So I've got a bit more detail in this from this AI. Emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Mental health is not just about the absence of mental illness. It's a broader concept encompassing various aspects of our lives. It includes our emotional response, thoughts, and feelings, as well as our social interactions and relationships. Factors including mental health is numerous factors can influence our mental health, including our physical health, our sleep, diet, relationship, and environmental factors. I mean, right there, before I even go any further, like physical health, I've said before about how I feel about my physical health. When I look at my body, like it's something that I keep telling myself I'm going to go back to the gym. I still haven't done it. And it does affect me sometimes, because I did something I haven't done for a while, believe it or not, guys. At one time I did on I think it was Monday. I did a 10-minute workout, and I got to the end of it, and it was the best feeling in the world, because it had been so long since I've done a workout. But I feel one thing, I definitely feel like that since I've been doing this and not my original job, I feel like my body's a lot weaker. Like not in terms of like movement, like because I can still walk, I can still run, I still have I still, in terms of that fitness, when it comes to my legs, I definitely feel they're good because on that, but I don't feel as physical as I used to be because of not doing the work that I used to do. I mean, yeah, I'm using my fingers and using my hands a lot on here, right here on the keyboard, but it's not really the same thing. But but as somebody who is a wrestling fan, and you see lots of physical people, like really fit and healthy people, it does bring me down sometimes, because I kind of wish, like, I wish I'd do more for my body. So it does have sometimes, like, sometimes have a negative effect on me, if that makes any sense to you guys. Sleep is definitely one. There's another one there. Especially when you don't get enough sleep, or if you're sometimes doing late overnights or whatever, and you don't get enough sleep. If you get some sleep, you can still have your normal day, but you'll start to feel it as things go, as time goes by. A prime example of this is when I stay up and watch a wrestling promotion, and it's like I only get a few hours sleep, and then it's the next day, and I'm trying to carry on as normal, and then in the evening I really start to feel it. And there was 1 or 2 live streams where I've done where I've done where I'm really feeling it. I don't really feel that my sleep is related to stress or to mental health, but I guess it is in some way, shape, or form. Diet, as of course, diet's another one there. I sometimes wish I eat more, because I do consider myself skinny. I do consider myself skinny. I don't feel that I eat enough, but there's a money factor to it as well. When I think about it, like I want to buy loads and loads and eat loads of meat to kind of buff me up, sort of thing. But it's like that costs money, so there's a part of that as well. Because yeah, that's the other thing when it comes to fitness as well. If I want to get a stronger body, there has to be a food. You have to come with the food that goes with it. It's not just the working out. It's the food that comes with it, and all the drinks as well. Relationship and environmental factors. Environmental factors is definitely a factor. It's not something it's something I don't really want to say here. Maybe one day I'll talk about it specifically here, but not the environmental factors definitely does officiate to my stress. Yeah. Impact on daily life. Mental health significantly impacts how we function in our daily lives, including work, study, relationship, and self-care. Self-care is a big problem. Did you know, guys, actually, for pretty much, one of the things I also like doing, obviously, as well as wrestling, is playing video games. Sometimes it's almost near to next impossible for me to make time to play video games. And like for about an hour today, I actually got to play video game. Like just an hour, only an hour. I only had an hour, guys, and that was it. And I might even go back on after this. Who knows? Ginger Lefty, good to see you. I'm starting psychotherapy in the next month or so. Heading towards a diagnosis on a borderline personality disorder. I don't know what that word is, but identity disorder. I'm sorry that you have to get psychotherapy, Ginger. Really, really am. I've always said to you that that I'm literally like you have. You know, I'm always open for conversation whenever you want it. You're available to talk to me whenever you need it. I've always said my door is open to you, my friend, whenever you want to talk. I just want you to know that. And I really do wish you all the best. And if you ever want someone to talk to, you know where to find me, okay? And I really, really mean that. Good to see you there, Mad Monk, as well. I love to be proven wrong. Much prefer disillusionment to delusion, says Vicky there as well. In early March, I had a full-on psychotic episode with suicidal intentions and hallucinations. As soon as I was coming out of it, I got help, says Ginger Lefty. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. And you guys know about the time when I had suicidal thoughts as well, one point in my life, and that was pretty brutal. And yeah, it's really, really horrible to hear that, to read that, Ginger. But it's also very brave to talk about that as well. So the hardest thing is being open about it. So thank you for opening up. I know that was not easy talking about that. Distinguishing mental health from mental illness. It's an interesting one there. It says here as well. Mental health is not just the same as mental illness. It's also known as mental health disorder. Mental health is a continuum, and everyone experiences periods of good and poor mental health. Mental illness refers to conditions that affects thinking, feelings, and behavior, and often causes distress and impairment. Signs of good health, of good mental health. Examples of good mental health include feeling calm, content, peaceful, hopeful, and accepted. That's probably what most of us are very when everything seems okay. That's probably the normality. When you're not feeling those things. I mean, there is a part of me right now that has been a lot stressful since Sunday because, as I said to you guys, I bit my tongue twice, and that causes, and because I've got pain on my tongue still and an ulcer, that gives me stress, and it's very, very frustrating. And it's going to take a while for it to go, I'm afraid, as well. Signs of poor mental health. Experience of poor mental health, including feeling sad, tearful, hopeless, exhausted, and under unbearable stress. And that word, and that's the next word when you think about mental health, is stress. Stress is something that really does affect your mental health, and I think that one out of all of when I think about all the ones out, I think that one is affecting a lot of people, because I think stress contributes a lot more to mental health than other things, because it really does. When you have a lot of things going on in your mind, which can be really, really painful for you. Miffle says, I've struggled very badly with my mental health in the last decade or so. It took me quite a long time for me to ask, mainly because it would mean admitting that I'm a failure. I don't feel like that I've personally have hit the rock bottoms that I've hit for a while. I think I would say I'm content, but I definitely know that feeling of feeling like you're a failure. I've definitely felt that more than anything. I'm not saying sleep isn't a mental health thing. It's just not something that I personally feel. It's a personal thing for me. I personally have felt that whenever I've not had enough sleep, I don't think it affects my mental health. But what I have done is rectify it the very next night to sleep a bit longer, especially to get it. Yeah, don't ever think that you are a failure. You know, when you feel like everything's shit. The worst thing is thinking to yourself that thinking to yourself that you're a failure. Like, no matter, like, it's not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's not about you know, the home that you have or the job you are. It's how you feel and what you have achieved. And it can be small achievements, it can be big achievements, but they are still achievements. Everyone has achievements that they've made in life, but sometimes we don't know. Every single person has a different level of what they deem themselves as a success or achievable or not success and achievable. I think that does play a part in it as well. It's difficult. So let's ask AI what stress is. I do have other stuff as well, just a reference. So stress is your body's response to a threat or a demand, whether real or perceived. And it can be either positive, EU stress, or negative distress. It activates the fight or flight response, leading to physical and mental changes like heart rate, rapid breathing, and difficulty concentrating. when you are stressed, you really do struggle to concentrate, don't you? And I know sometimes there are times when I feel like I'm overwhelmed with content. I remember the days before I went on my holiday, right? I felt stress. I felt anxious because I was trying to do so much content to kind of like cover the channel. And I could definitely like, I was definitely feeling it. Like trying to do so many videos in one day. I mean, when it was all said and done, I was relieved, I was happy, and I was proud of myself. But as I was doing it, it was stressful because it was like, I need to keep this going, like sort of thing. It's in the back of my mind. I can't not get this done. I gotta get this done. Gotta get this done, sort of thing. It's and I'm sure that's what some of you guys and girls are like at work as well. It's like trying to get these things done, and it's just like, it's frustrating. Chip has said, it's like you wouldn't try to fly a plane or do brain surgery, so why not ask a professional for help when it comes to mental health? You're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong. I think it's always good to seek professional help when you need it. But there's also another added problem when we talk about seeking that help for mental health. And that is, unfortunately, not everybody can afford to see a professional. Not everyone's in certain people's jobs can get them somebody to it. There is, unfortunately, the fact that is a factor to it. Obviously, and they're working to improve the specifically here the National Healthcare Service when it comes to mental health here. I've never felt that I need to go and get professional help. I do feel that these live streams every now and then I do is a nice breather for me to kind of just get whatever shit I want to get off my chest, and for you guys, whatever you want to type to get off your chest as well. That's kind of what I see these things are. If it is too much, then yes, of course, go seek professional help. If you and money should not be a factor when it comes to looking after your mental health. But I also understand why people wouldn't go and seek that help, because it could be a factor in some cases as well. Good evening, Gerald. Good to see you there. Vicious cycle. I remember I did night shifts for years and never got great sleep pattern. Body never got into a good rhythm. Yeah, night shifts are terrible. Can be terrible for it. I think one of the worst things is I remember doing 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shifts, and I had to do it for two weeks, and then obviously your weekends you have off, right? So what do you do during the weekend? Because your sleep pattern's buggered up. Do you try and switch it back before the Monday, or do you switch it forward? So I intentionally stayed up all night on the weekend, because it was just like, there's no point me switching my sleep pattern. So I would stay up late at night while the rest of my family, when I was younger, while the rest of my family would sleep. I would sit there and just play video games, or I don't know, just doing probably just playing video games all night or something like that, just because there's no point me trying to switch my sleep pattern. It was a weird thing. It was very messy, because it was like when it was daytime, I'd like, what I would normally do when I did night shifts is like, when I come home, I would sleep till about 1 o'clock or something, and then something like that. What I taught myself to do as well, because I always like to eat 3 meals a day. I would always even after the 12-hour shift, I would come home. I would have cereal, have drink. And then I would go to sleep after. Try to go to sleep, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Because even when you close the curtains and everything, sometimes there's still sunlight in, even if the house is quiet and the door is shut. It doesn't always just for me. It's difficult sometimes for me to just go to sleep. I feel it's easier for me to put on a video now on my phone or something, and that knocks me out instead. Because then my missus just catches me with the video on while I'm asleep, and then she just takes the headphones out and takes the phone away from me, because I'm already knocked out. sometimes I can sleep without the need for it, but it gets me knocked out much more quickly. Exactly happens to me at weekends or days off. Yeah, that's it's if you're doing like five night shifts, 5 night shifts, and then you got to do them the following week. I wouldn't bother trying to reset it back, because then you're only just messing about with it even more on that. I did nights for about 5 years on and off it. It really messes up after a while. If you're consistently switching, that's really bad for your sleep pattern. It's really, really bad for your sleep pattern. Did nights for 7 years. Used to go to the cafe near my site for a fry up most mornings. Low. Hey, that's nice, man. It's nice to get a fry up. It really boosts your energy as well, for you there as well. Actually reminds me, there's this cafe actually down the road from where we are, and one of the things that me and my partner like to do, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, whenever we go to the wrestling show here in London, we always go for a fry up at the cafe down the road from us. And the reason why is because the shows are normally between like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that, till 7, 8, 9, something like that, yeah? So you don't have that period where you can eat because you're at the show. I mean, you can't even buy any food in there because it's all bar drinks and whatnot. So we intentionally fill ourselves up in the morning with lots of food, so that the idea is that you're not starving when you come out. Because one time we went to a wrestling show I went to a wrestling show and we didn't have a cooked breakfast, and I remember I was coming out and I was starving, I had a headache, I was stressed, all because I didn't have a big meal or something. So we said to ourselves, every time we go to a wrestling show, we always go and fill ourselves up in the morning, like whether it's like just under 20 quid or something, I think, yeah, for what we have, because then at least the body is okay. It's funny, the last wrestling show, I don't normally, when we come back from it, I don't normally like 8, 9 o'clock I have a dinner or anything, because it's like it's been all day. But I did for one time, I actually, on our way home, I actually did decide to get a meal and got a microwave meal, and I had it at 9 o'clock in the evening, because I was like, I felt really, really hungry, and I don't normally feel that really, really hungry after a wrestling show like that. But I don't know. Anyways, I'm going off topic anyway. Sorry. So let me talk a bit about the stress here from here. How does it affect you? Stress can manifest physically, increase heart rate, muscle tension, stomach upset, emotionally, anxiety, irritable, or difficulty sleeping. Yeah, difficulty sleeping definitely is one as well. So there are types of stress. Acute stress, which is a temporary response to a specific event, like a sudden illness or a difficult situation. Yep, I think we all know that we all felt that in some way, shape, or form. Chronic stress is prolonged stress that can lead to health problems if not managed efficiently as well. The fight or flight response is when you perceive a threat, your body releases hormones like adrenaline, preparing you to either fight or flee. That I definitely feel that. You know what? Sometimes when you're walking down the road or you're walking somewhere, and there's just something you see, like sometimes when I see certain people, I do get that sometimes, like in the back of my mind, when I shouldn't need to, when they're perfectly all right. But it's like in the back of my mind, it's like, well, I don't know. I just don't know. You just don't know people. You know what I mean? Learning healthy coping mechanisms like exercise, meditation, or spending time with nature can help manage stress and improve overall well-being. Well, spending time in nature is definitely something I do when I go for my walks in the park. So that definitely helps with the stress. Like, this is the 3rd live stream I've done today. And that walk I did this morning really did help. One thing I was very annoyed about, though, was my wireless headphones that I have specifically for my phone do not work for some reason now, which means I can't. And because of my phone, my actual iPhone specifically here, I can't actually for some reason the headphone. I have a problem with the head. The only way I can plug headphones in is from the USB charger. It doesn't have one of the basic headphone plugins. This iPhone, it's very annoying. Very annoying. And right there, just that in itself is just like not the most important thing, but it's like a really stressful thing, you know. It's really, really stressful. There was actually something I wanted. There was something actually on. Speaking on my phone, actually, someone sent this to. So I saw this actually on this here. I think this is more America. This numbers and statistics are about. I can't show you to it guys here because I've only got it on my phone. But someone posted this saying June is Men's Mental Health Month. It says, quote, 525,000 men every year, 10,096 men per week, 1,442 men every day, 60 men every hour, 1 man every 60 seconds die by suicide. 3 times as many men as women die by suicide. Men are wrongfully taught at a young age expressing emotion as being weak. Men aged 40 to 49 have the highest suicide rates. And men report lower levels of life satisfaction than women. And men are less likely to seek medical help than women. And it has the last initial on this poster. I'll post it on Discord if people want to see it. Cross out man up with speak up. That's what it says there. I'm not aware if it's caught that before it came. I don't. Is it Mental Health Month in June? Like, to me, it's like every month, really, there is something. But I feel like I don't know if these statistics are America or if it's the world or. But when I see that kind of numbers, it's very frightening to think about it. It is quite frightening when you think about it. That's for sure. Yeah, I hate sneezing, guys. So, for those who don't know, mental health awareness is going to start next week from the Mental Health Foundation. This is the Mental Health Foundation Mental Health Awareness Week. Since 2001, the Mental Health Foundation has been leading Mental Health Awareness Week, bringing the UK together to focus on getting good mental health. And this year, the week took place from the 12th to the 18th of May 2025, and the theme is community. Oh, sorry, May. It's not June. So we use this Mental Health Awareness Week to celebrate the power and importance of community. Be part of a safe, positive community is vital to our mental health and well-being. We thrive to have strong connections with other people and supportive communities that remind us we are not alone. Communities can provide a sense of belonging, safety, support, and hard times, and give us a sense of purpose. That's kind of what we have here as our own community here as well. So online safety and mental health are more connected than ever before, which is true. So today, most people in the UK spend their time on online communications, whether they like to be on social media like Facebook or X, video platforms like TikTok or Switch, or messaging services like WhatsApp or Discord, or YouTube, because we're only on YouTube today. Through these communities, many of us form friendships, explore our identities, and connect with our peers in many ways previous generations couldn't have imagined, and mental health benefits of those connections are undeniable. But those digital spaces are not always safe. While there are so many supportive and uplifting online communities, there are also harmful ones that promote hatred, self-harm, and dangerous misinformation. The mental health impact of these negative environments can be catastrophic. It is so essential that each one of us feel reversed in embracing the good and avoiding the bad. This is why, as part of our community theme for Mental Health Awareness Week, we've chosen to explore people's online communities. and suggests what we all and the government can do better to navigate an increasingly complex online world. So the risk of online communities. So in April 2025, we undertook some polling which painted a concerning picture that most young people, 85%, access online communities daily, but nearly 7 in 10, 68%, have encountered harmful or disturbing content while online, including suicide and pro-eating order discontent, racism, misogyny, and bullying. For those caught in toxic online spaces, the damage can be profound. Hate-fueled communities deepening feelings of isolation and reinforce destructive ideologies. Like the incel movement, exposing to self-harm content can drive vulnerable individuals towards dangerous decisions. And while supportive online spaces exist, without education on digital literacy and self-protection, young people now always recognize the difference between helpful and harmful content. And this is especially important given the regulation of the online world is still not where it needs to be, something we continue to push our work through our advocacy work. I think, I really wanted to highlight this, and I think this is really, really important to understand that out there. I think it's when you think about how we use social media. I know not a lot of you use as much social media as I do, but I use regularly for my socials. I regularly use Twitter, I regularly use Blue Sky, I regularly use Facebook, I regularly use Instagram. Those are my 4 main ones that I use the most. And thank you, Alice Zakir, for putting up. My apologies for not putting up those links, Samaritans, and Give Us a Shout as well. Thank you for putting them in the chat. I appreciate that. I really, really do. The social, it's when we wonder why people think the way they think, they feel the way they feel, and they react the way they react when it comes to certain politics, or why people vote a certain way, why people act in the way they are, is because this is what they have, what the internet has taught them, what they have fallen into these categories or into these traps, and it's why they've had down these paths, because the barriers to protect them from the harmful contents wasn't there for them, or because of circumstances within their lives where things did not go the way they wanted them to, because of the environment that they were in, maybe because of his family reasons. There's all sorts of reasons why people head down these harmful or terrible content. People head down them for all sorts of reasons, and they feel this resentment that they can feel a sense of resentment that the world didn't do enough for them, and that's why they feel and think a certain way. No matter how much we try to get into their mindsets, this is how they think, this is how they feel, and they feel that what they're doing is right and just. When we know it's wrong. But in their minds and everything that they've experienced, what they've lived, what they've been taught, and what they've understood is that what they feel is the right path for them, when it could be anything but that. So the roles of schools, and this is where a lot of it, not just obviously in the UK, but in many places where it really needs to be dealt with. We need to see urgent action from social media platforms and regulators to make online communications safer. But such changes do not appear to be on the horizon until they are. Education will be critical. Schools are uniquely positioned to prepare young people for healthy and informed online engagement. Just as they already teach about relationships, democracy, and personal well-being, this needs to be built into our education from day one. Yes, I 100% agree. Yet right now, online safety education for failing many students. 10% of young people aged 16 to 21 receive no education on online safety at all, and 58% who have felt it wasn't useful enough. Teachers too are struggling. With over 3/4 of secondary school teachers have report concerned about the rise of online misogyny. They need better resources and training to help students navigate these challenges. They need to be taught at a young age about social media and about it, because the thing is even before they are even in school, even before that very first day of school, children are fully aware of it, because guess what? What do they see mummy and daddy doing a lot of? Sitting on their phones. Like, don't hide it. We all do it. Like, I do it. My missus does it. Everyone does it. We all sit there. There are times where we just sit and look at our phones. We shouldn't, but we do. And so they already want to know what we are looking at, what is, like, from a child's perspective, especially a very, very young child. They want to know what mummy is doing. They want to know what daddy's looking at, because they want to replicate what mummy and daddy are doing. So even right there, how you, as a parent, if you are a parent listening, how you, what's the right words to use? How you portray yourself in front of your children from the moment that they are born is something really matters. So I've always, if the day ever comes when me and my partner ever have a child, and this is something I've always had in the back of my mind, is that I have to completely change who I am from the moment that child's born. Completely change. And I don't just mean in terms of being a father, but actually how I go about my daily life, because I have to have this in the back of my mind that no matter what I do, I have to assume that my child is always watching. I have to assume that anything that I do, the child could replicate. That the only safe space I would have is when the child is not with me, it's with the partner, is out of my sights, it's not even in the same house as me. Then and only then I can be a bit more loose. But whenever I'm in this, I have to assume that the child is thinking about what is daddy doing, how is daddy doing things, like simple things like I know it sounds a bit weird, but I think you know where I'm coming from. And the pressure on teachers is immense as it is. Yes, parents have to take some ownership and responsibilities as well. But yeah, where it starts is in schools. And they're absolutely right in saying that we need to make sure, regardless of wherever we are in the world, we have to teach children straight away at a very young age about how to take responsibility and ownership of themselves when it comes to online content. Cannot stress it enough. There's just not enough done to teach children about this. On this, it's a really, really big deal. One of the reasons why my social media and YouTube and an email, because I cannot stand the noise, says Jal. Tried Discord, but I really cannot get with it. One of the reasons why my phone is just to answer phone calls and listen to music. I do not have a net on my phone, only on my PC. People are surprised about that, but the reasons is to force myself to focus on the world and not on the noise of doom scrolling. Yeah, doom scrolling is definitely one of the... This is why I don't social media on TikTok, because it takes away a lot of my time. I'm very, like... when it comes to Facebook, I only go out of my way to read down 2 specific Facebook pages. When it comes to my personal Facebook, I don't scroll on the personal Facebook unless I might look at 1 or 2 family things, but that's very rare. On Twitter, I do that, doom scrolling. That is a problem for me that I need to reduce. That is absolutely no question. On Instagram, I don't scroll that much either. I'm only looking at specific people, but again, it is still doom scrolling to a certain extent as well. So yeah, I do have that issue, and I think it is something that one of the things actually my phone tells me actually. I wonder if my phone can tell me this. Yes, it does. So on my phone, and I'm just going to show you just here. So my phone tells me like how much I spend on my time on it. So on average, it's 12 hours and 4 minutes is my average. Specifically, 5 hours and 12 minutes entertainment, 3 hours and 41 minutes social, 28 minutes creativity. Now, bear in mind, a lot of the most I spend on is YouTube. This is today. However, I create my YouTube shorts on here. I just want to point that out as well, just for reference when it comes to that. I'm just looking at interesting there. First used after pickup is YouTube. It's the first thing I do. And then next is Facebook, and then messages, and then settings. But that is today apparently. So yeah, my phone actually tells me. Oh no, it's just quite interesting. So I can set time limits for apps. Choose apps to allow at all times. So I can limit myself. I can force myself to limit myself if I really wanted to. I don't know if I actually want to do that. And I shouldn't be looking at my phone while I'm supposed to be talking to you guys. If I am out with somebody consistently on my phone, if I am leaving, you are either there or not. One of the things I definitely tend to do when I'm with family and whatnot is I keep the phone in the pocket. I don't really take the phone out. Very rarely that I do. Well, just because it's quite rude, you know. It's quite rude. I think it's fair to say. What needs to change? The government to make urgent reforms. Some of the reforms may only be relevant to England, while others for the entire UK. Online safety must be a core part of personal, social, health and economic SPHSE education, ensuring all students are supposed to develop an understanding of how to navigate online community safety and recognise and avoid that these are bad for their mental health. The UK government must work with our voluntary sector organisations, including those working on mental health and against hatred, and to create up-to-date, effective teaching materials that reflect the evolving online landscape. UK government should use the upcoming review of statutory guidance on relationships, sex education and health education to advance this issue. Platforms will also be held responsible for harming content through Online Safety Act, and small and high-risk volumes should face the same regulatory as large social media sites. That's one of the biggest problems with some social media accounts. They don't have any accountability for them. So online safety tips for everyone. As much as the government must help reform and educate the area, we all need to be equipped with practical tools and to navigate our digital lives. Here are some key tips to ensuring online space support and mental well-being rather than hide it. Step 1. Sorry, you guys can't see it. Let me see if I can. Aha! See what I did there, guys? Aren't I clever? Step 1. Find the right kind of community. Finding an online connection around any hobby and interest can help our mental health, i.e. wrestling. I found wrestling communities and whatnot, and they are positive for me. But activities that are particularly good for mental health, including spending time with nature, exercise, and creative purposes. Well, going out for walks is very good for me. Exercise, need to do more of that. I don't have anyone, I don't push myself enough on that. That's a big problem for me. Creative pursuits. You know, I do have other creative aspirations, but I feel like if I'm already taking on quite this and my wrestling content, and I feel like that if I take on another creative aspiration, I'd be taking up even more of my own free time. Combining these interests with a healthy online community could protect and improve your mental health. So stay mindful of changing spaces. So online communities can change over time and become unhelpful. Some harmless interests can lead to damaging groups, such as holistic wellness communities that drift into conspiracy theories, or groups that support self-growth overlapping with hateful ideologies. Yeah, so what can happen is, I'm sure some people have experienced it, in some online communities that you're a part of, somebody comes in with perceptions that are completely out of whack with everyone else, and that person proves to be problematic rather than helpful, and that person ends up becoming rather than actually being more open-minded, becomes more problematic and can bring the community down, sort of thing, in a way as well. Curate your digital environment. Think about what you don't want to interact with. If certain content creators or influencers make you feel uncomfortable, undermine your confidence, it's okay to block, unfollow, and mute them. Protecting your mental well-being comes first. Yeah, this is sometimes, and this is what I do a lot. I do this a lot on Twitter. Is a prime example of this. Like, the moment something that is driving me feeling really negative, or with the intention of making me feel negative or bad, I just block it. I just block them. Because it's like, it's not worth the stress or hassle. And there's a lot of times where sometimes I see a tweet, it makes me want to trigger a negative reaction, but then it's like, it's not worth it, and I just continue scrolling, or I block that person. Because it's like, it's no, like, because I remember once I got irate about a certain tweet or something, and it was just like, why am I getting upset about it? Like, it's just making me mad for no reason. I should just move on, and I did, and I've already forgotten what it was what it was, but I've moved on from it. So yeah, doing those things can be really, really helpful. Blue Sky has a great blocking system, by the way, as well. They're very good at has a great blocking system on their social media. Like when you block someone on Blue Sky, like you don't see nothing of that person anymore. They cannot see you. They can't find your profile. They can't find anything on you. You like literally vanish off the face of the earth. Balancing online and offline interactions. This is my problem. Offline interactions, during the week, it's near to next impossible for me to during the weeks. Why does it have to make me do this? During the weeks and the midweeks, it's near to next impossible to get me off offline interactions. But then again, I'm playing like I'm about to shoot myself in the foot here. Like the thing is like I don't really spend during the weeks spend time with my missus because I let her chill out after work. Like I let her be herself, and it's the weekends was when we spend time together. That's what we normally do. But I definitely don't balance online and offline interactions. That's definitely my problem. There's nothing wrong with communities that are only online, but in-person connections offer advantages too. Yep, that's true. The sort of communities that could benefit your mental health the most might span the online and offline worlds, allowing you to enjoy the advantages of both forms of interaction. Well, I guess a good way of putting it is whenever I go to wrestling shows and I mingle with wrestling fans in person rather than online, I definitely prefer that. I definitely enjoy that more than anything. There was this one guy I had a great there's one guy I can't remember his name, but he's such a cool guy. Whenever I see him, and I remember chiming in on one of his conversations, and literally made me feel inclusive by saying, "Oh, hey, we're just talking." And he said, "Hey, you're all right? Yeah, we're just talking about video games at the moment." I was like, "Oh, okay." So, and right there, he made me feel included in the conversation, which was like really, really nice. You know, things like that, like so simple thing like that is really, really nice. You know, so I just wanted to put that in there. Checking in with yourself. How does an online space make you feel? If you're feeling anxious, angry, or overwhelmed, that community may not be helpful for you. A positive online experience should leave you feeling connected, respected, and accepted. So I don't have I limit the amount of Discord communities that I'm a part of. I limit to the amount of wrestling communities that I'm a part of. I limit to the amount of political spaces that I'm a part of as well, because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many communities, if you know what I mean. Because if I have too many communities, too many spaces, I'm not as close to communities unless I do as well. No worries, Mad Monk. Thank you for popping in. Much appreciate it. Have a great shift. Look after yourself as always. I do appreciate you popping in, my friend. So, I just feel like if you have so many communities and so many bubbles, I don't feel as close to them. I feel further away from those bubbles than I do if I have so many ones. Like, let's just say, for instance, you're part of 50 different Discord communities, yeah? Discord servers, for example. How many of them do you spend time in? Do you really spend a lot of time in them? Probably not. And a positive online experience should leave you feeling connected, respected, and accepted. And I definitely feel that with certain wrestling communities that I'm a part of. Because of my experiences, and my online experience with a certain friend of mine led me to having been on a live stream with him talking about wrestling. I remember the first time I did a live stream with him, and he was such the coolest guy ever, and we've been friends online ever since. You know, and he at some point is planning to come to the UK at some point in the future, and you know, we're gonna have and I can't wait to meet him, you know, because we've shared some personal things about not just wrestling, but we shared stories about things going on in our personal lives. I remember, and sometimes every now and then, right, when he's traveling to work, he'll send me a long voice message just talking about wrestling. or I'll sometimes send him a long voice message talking about wrestling, rather than us actually directly calling each other. But we'll just send long voice messages to each other, and it's kind of cool because he's driving on his way to work, and then he's listening to my voice message. That kind of thing. That I like that kind of communication, rather than just text messages, because you're actually listening to the person's voice as well. It's a nice little thing there. Good evening, Daily Blase. Darren, it's good to see you there, my friend. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are coping from a mental health point of view. I hope you are happy and healthy. I hope your family and friends are happy and healthy too. And I appreciate you coming here, my friend. And I look forward to Friday Frolics, which helps us forget about all our problems. I don't know if you've seen it, but next time you go on Twitter, do check your DMs. I did send you an interesting news article. You might want to use possibly for Friday Frolics. I'll just leave it at that. There. So reflect on your motivations, thinking about your reasons for wanting to be a part of a community. Why do you want to be a part of a certain space? Why do you want to be? What do you want to learn or gain from this community? Being intentional or about the online community you're participating helps ensure that they're positive contributions to your well-being. That's the question. What we are doing right now, you guys here in this live chat here, this is a community. This is a community. Why do you want to ask yourself this? Why are you here? Why are you part of this community? What is it about this community that you like? Is it just me, or is it just the people around it in the community? I think it's a bit of both. I don't think it's just me. I honestly think it's the people that are in the community that we have here as well. And it was something that I really would like to have continuously tried to grow as well, because I do want to grow the community. Unfortunately, I'm very terrible with my Discord server in terms of communication. I've been very poor with communication, and I haven't been doing after chats for a long time. I should try and do one fixed day a week at least. That should be something I should set a goal to try and do again, so that we can have more voice interactions. The problem is that the reason why I sometimes keep coming out of it is because somebody joins the chat that I don't want to join, that ends up ruining the experience, which is just a very sad thing to say. Online safety is vital for positive mental health. Mental health doesn't exist in isolation. It shapes by our experiences, relationships, and environments that we engage with daily. And for many of us today, the online world is an essential part of that. If we do truly care about safeguarding mental well-being, we cannot ignore the dangers of the digital world. But by making online safety education a priority, we give young people the tools to thrive, not just online, but in every aspect of our lives. By focusing on our own understanding of the online communities that form a part of our lives, we stand to improve our mental health. It's 100% true. It is. I couldn't agree more on that. It's 100% true, guys. Excuse me. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the 5 gifted memberships. Palsy, Young Ralph, Scott Hayes, FY, and a Duke Abuse. They're all gifted memberships. Thank you so much for your generous support, my friend. Very, very kind of you. There. I have some disagreements with your takes, Reganelite, but you're okay for a Londoner. Yep, that's that, and I appreciate and I respect that. I respect that we have disagreements on things, and that's great. Because sometimes, but it's always about, agree to disagree. That's it. So, totally cool, my friend. Totally cool. I've already seen it regularly, and don't worry, my friend. Done by mass robberies will get a mention. What's he talking about, guys? Oh, you have to wait till Friday for that one. Is this the same? So this one is here. This is an interesting one here from them as well. And I've got a link for the Mental Health Foundation in the description if anyone wants to have a look at it themselves. So tips on how to use online spaces to support our mental health and not harm it. So positive communities support our mental health and well-being by giving us a sense of belonging, connection, and purpose. And many of us find this connection online, from social media to video platforms, forums, and messaging services. These online communities allow us to make friends, explore hobbies, connect with people who share our own identities and way of thinking, and learn from those who do not. But not all communities are safe, and sometimes negative digital spaces can cause more harm than good. Must make sure I drink plenty of water for my own well-being. We all need to be equipped with practical tools to embrace positive online communities while avoiding negative ones and protecting our well-being in the process. I feel like this is the same. Is this the same thing? No, it's not. We create some guidance to help you stay mentally safe while using our online communities as well. For our parents and schools, we want you to support young people, their care in their online activities. So for adults and young people, finding online connection around any hobby and interest can help our mental health, but activities that we know are particularly good for our mental health, including spending time in nature, exercise, and creative purposes. Combine these interests with healthy online community can improve your mental health. I feel like we've already gone through this. There's nothing wrong with your communities that are only online, but in person. Yeah, this is all stuff we've already looked at. I feel like a lot of this is just the same stuff. Sorry. What is this one? Tips on navigating online communities while supporting your mental health. I feel like it's the same stuff again. I don't know why they did it in a different one there. What are benefits of online communities? Easy, reliable, will be with you 24/7. Easy to find like-minded people to help you feel better. Can you discover different views? A sense of belonging, acceptance, feel safe, safe space to be vulnerable. Easy to find people with shared interests, connecting to people that you wouldn't otherwise meet. While being part of a positive community support and mental health, not all communities are good for us. It's important to recognize when a community is doing more harm than good. For example, make you feel uncomfortable, unsafe, and think badly about yourself. Positive online communities can feel comfortable, safe, and inclusive. Remember, if a community doesn't feel good for you, you should always be feel able to leave it. Yep, 100% agree with that. Top tips for using online communities for your mental health. Protect your privacy. Avoid sharing your personal details with others online and check that your privacy settings are working for you. Be mindful of how the community is making you feel. Trust your instinct to remember to take a step back or leave a community that isn't benefiting you. Don't take information online at face value. Fact check information and advice through trusted sources or talk it over with a trusted adult. Be aware of your digital footprint when you're sharing an online communities. Remember that it's hard to erase this later on, so be careful about what you share and consider the future impact. This is a big one here. So one thing that you have to be really careful of is when you post or you tweet something, and even though you've deleted it, there's still an imprint of that. The image is still there. When I think about things that I've said on Twitter in the past, or things that I've made comments, like one of the things that I've it's really, really important to just kind of like, one of the things that my dad has always said about covering your ass is the saying that he used to, is the saying that he has, and this one here is one that really, really matters. Think before you comment, or think before you post, think before you tweet, sort of thing. When I see certain comments, and I just think to myself, like, do you know what you just said? Even though there's a chance that that comment could be a bot. It's possible, we don't know. I do wonder why sometimes do people regret sometimes saying the thing they say with some of their comments and tweets. And you know what it does, right? Especially when you say something that has a negative effect on people, and you become the center of attention, but it's a center of attention of negativity rather than positivity. And then that can make you feel bad. It can make your person feel bad. It can make them feel negative and make them feel guilty, make them feel sad. It can make them feel all sorts of emotions. All these here are really, really important. Important stuff when it comes to online. I really do feel like online more than anything is a really big problem right now. Why does it make me switch all the time? Advice by and for young people to stay on safe in online communities. Create a checklist of the MFF young leaders keep their advice. What do you need to keep telling people online? Just because a community feels welcome at first doesn't mean it always will be. Don't feel complacent. Always check in on how it's making you feel. Fact check any advice and talk about it with others. Never do what people tell you to do online, particularly if it's about your physical and mental health. Well, I tell people to look after them. Well, if I'm telling somebody to look after themselves, like for example, if I'm telling you, yeah, if you guys are struggling financially, like don't send me super chats or gifted memberships. If you are struggling financially, I'd rather you take care of yourself before you think about sending any support towards me. That's not me taking advantage of you. That's telling you to look. That's me saying, look, I'm somebody that will always want people to financially support me, but I'd rather people would look after themselves than than anything else, because your health and well-being is far more important than mine, because you need to look after the number one person, which is yourself. Once you look after yourself, once you are in an able and body, if you want to help and support me, then great. But if you can't, then don't. That's kind of something that I tell people to do. I never say to people, please I'm not like somebody who says, please give me your money, sort of thing, because that's not the right way to do it. And it's just like, if you can help, great. If you can't, it's fine, sort of thing. Because there's like, you guys know about, like sometimes there's like live streams where I in the past where like I didn't get any super chats or gifted memberships, and it's like, you know what, you have those days, and it's just like, you don't always get, it doesn't always you don't always have it. I'm not like Graham Hughes, where I know I'm going to get something from the community. You have your days, and sometimes you have them, and sometimes you don't. So, Chris Fisher, good evening. Hope you're doing well, man. It's about selling folk BS. Some people sell crap like Farage. Yeah, Farage does sell a lot of crap. The problem is that he's very good. He's very good at shining up that crap to make it look like really good stuff. So yeah, that is from, like I said, the link is in the description. The Mental Health Foundation there, guys. So we've gone about an hour. I don't know really what's more to really add, really. I mean, I suppose we could talk about depression. We talked about stress. We talked about mental health. I suppose we could talk about depression. We have covered it before, guys. To remind ourselves what it is. There. Depression is a mental health problem that involves having a low mood or losing interest in things. It can also cause a range of other changes in how you feel or behave. We'll end with depression, and then maybe I'll find a funny video to leave us on. Maybe symptoms symptoms you experience may vary. How intense they are, how long they last, how much affect your daily life can also vary. If you experience milder depression, you might have a low mood but still be able to carry on with your daily life, but things may feel harder or less worthwhile. If you have severe depression, you might feel the day-to-day life much more difficult, and you also may experience suicidal feelings. And unfortunately, we do have those moments of depression where it really does can hit rock bottom. And as I've many times on live streams, I've talked to you guys about how I've had those depressions where they've really made me feel bad and really made me hit rock bottom. Those ones can really make me feel bad to that there. It's very depressing. I mean, what else can trigger depression is events. What sometimes the news that you hear about, when you hear about certain things in politics, for example, can make you feel depressed, because it makes you feel like that there's no hope, that the world is doomed, and it's all over, sort of thing. Because you do get that sense of it when you feel like your viewpoints, like certain policies and certain things are not happening that you want to happen. It can feel that way, for sure. Or an incident or something that happened in your life can trigger the depression as well. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Thank you for that, Doc Davis, for the CPT. Yeah, CPT can help. I can take one a day gummy for it. It starts as sadness, and then I feel myself shutting down, become less capable of coping, and feel numb and empty. Definitely, I felt that. When you feel like really shit, and it can be really hard to get out of it. Sometimes when I'm doing my work, I just want to. It's not depression, but it's sometimes when I'm doing this job, and I do call it a job of sorts. When I'm doing it, I can feel like sometimes it can feel like overwhelming, and it's just like, I need to stop. And then there are times where I just sometimes I spend like I remember there was one or two times where I've just like sat and lied on my bed, not looked at my phone, not looked at a book, not looked at anything, just relaxed. I don't know why. I don't think it's depression. I guess it's just kind of a reset. This room that I'm in, okay. I one of the things I always do whenever a live stream ends is I get out of this room, because the air in this room is different to every other room in the house here. Even when I pull open the window, like it's almost like there's a change in temperature as well, a sense, whether it's hotter or colder as well when I come out of this room. And I don't know what it is. I guess it's because I spend so much time in this room. I don't know what it is, but I feel some like a sense that, you know, when my live stream ends and I've ended what I need to get, and I just come out of this room, all of a sudden it just feels like sort of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone here, but I think I do feel something like that there. I don't know. I'm just rambling maybe with that one. So, what does low mood become? Depression. At times when our mood is low, we feel sad or fed up. Often these feelings happen for a reason and pass on our own. But it might be a depression, or the feelings become so bad that they interfere with our daily lives, or they last for several weeks or months. Yeah. So sometimes, yeah, you have a bummer, you have a down week or whatever. It just like kicks you down or whatever, and just it's like shit, like this just fucking sucks, you know, sort of thing. And then usually, like, sometimes those things are just like, you can kind of move on from it. But then there's like the really hit ones, like when you've lost somebody close to you, or you learnt that somebody that you know has cancer, which I told you guys about a while ago. I still don't know if that person is cleared of cancer, by the way. But I don't think about it, because I feel like that person is just like still living their life as normal. But I remember at the time, it took a few days for it to kind of sink in, but it was still like depressing in the back of my mind, sort of thing. Ben Shaw, good evening, buddy. Hope you're doing well. But it was certainly, definitely, maybe in a low mood. Probably did make me really depressed as well when I learnt it as well, So, if you're diagnosed with depression, you might be told that it is less severe or more severe. This describes how your symptoms are affecting you and what treatments are likely to be offered. You might find that severity of your depression changes over time. Sometimes you might hear depression being called major depressive disorder. There are other types of depressions too there, so there's a couple of different types of ones there. Persistent depressive disorder, PDD, is a continuous depression that lasts for 2 years or more. You may have heard it called dysthymia or chronic depression. Yeah, for a long period, it's so scary. That's so scary to have it for a long period. That's really, really scary. Watching my missus die with cancer without weed, it would be unimaginable. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry about your missus. Yeah. It's pretty shit. Yeah, I fucking hate cancer too, man. Cancer took my one of my aunts away from me. Breast cancer. And cancer, I don't know what's the status of the cancer with someone really close to me right now. Like I said, I don't really want to tell people who it is. But there are some people I've told, they know who they are and know what it is, but yeah, it's just shit, man. Fuck cancer, man. Fuck cancer. I can't hear a bad word about cannabis. Well, you might have heard my video about drugs and how I think they should all be legal, because I think it's over the top that we punish people for taking drugs. I don't know if you saw that video, Chris. ITSD is a lifesaver in so many ways. Yeah, drugs. Like, I see drugs like alcohol, you know. That's how I see it. And that's exactly how I see drugs. There are some more potent than others, but it's all about like managing it. Like, our healthcare system our pharmacy should be managing those kind of drugs. Not the black market. Seasonal affective disorder. SAD is a depression that occurs at a particular time of year or in a particular season. See our page of SAD for more. And senile depression. This depression that occurs while you are pregnant, sometimes called parental depression. Postnatal depression. This is a depression that occurs in the first years after having a baby. This can include affecting dads and partners. Through seminal disruptive disorder. This is a hormone-related disorder that affects your body about how you feel. This can involve experiencing depression. So your doctor may prescribe this as a mental health problem. Sometimes it feels like a black hole, but sometimes it feels like I need to cry and scream and kick and shout. Sometimes I go quiet and lock myself in my room. Sometimes I have to be doing something all the time of the day to distract myself. This is definitely how I'm sure we've all experienced these in some way, shape, or form. Some way, shape, or form we've felt them. Definitely have. Very depression is it's a difficult one, that is for sure. There, that was from the website Mind. If anyone is interested, I'm just going to put a link to that as well, because I think that is much needed there. I don't really have anything else more in terms of content to add, but I suppose we could have a bit more of a chat about these things here. I'm glad cannabis is regulated here and people can buy it as gel. I'm very glad to hear that in Portugal. Good evening, Sean Wall. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Probably not going to be on for too much longer now, but I appreciate you popping in nonetheless. Excuse me. So yes, while you guys continue to chat a little bit, I'll talk a little bit more before we wrap up. So mental health, obviously, it's hard to talk about. It's hard to accept that we all have mental health of some shape or form, whether it's good mental health, bad mental health, or sometimes we just live our lives and not really think about it. But it's okay to accept that we have it. It's okay that that we have shit days, that we have bad days, that we have depressing days. We all have these, and some of us have them more than others, depending on our circumstances, depending on relationships, depending on work related, depending on what's happening in your life. Or it's possible by basically your mental health can be affected by events that happen online, or circumstances that are out of your control. One of the worst things that triggers me more than anything is circumstances out of my control. And I don't know how much of that relates to you guys, but when something happens that either affects me or affects family or friends or something like that, and that it's nothing in my control that I can do anything about it. Like I said about someone close to my family has cancer. If it can really send me into a whole range of emotions, because I don't know what to do, because it's not something that I can physically control, and it gets to me. Because we like to be in control of our own lives, control of our own destiny, and not have things taken away from us from something that we cannot be able to respond to. But when we are able to respond to things that we can change, how we react to them matters as well. And sometimes our mental health can react us in a positive manner, or it can help us, or it could react us in a negative manner, leading us down to a certain emotions, reactions. You have to accept that you can't do anything, and that's the problem with it. There is nothing you can action to change it, says Chris. You're right. There are circumstances like that where you just can't do anything about it, and it's like, And sometimes it just makes me want to kick and scream and shout and go, ah! And it's just like, I hate this. I hate this. You know. I mean, prime example is how often do we talk about what's happening in the Middle East? I don't want to go there, but you guys know how I feel about it. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. You see what's happening in America. You know, I really, really want to go back to America. I really, really do, guys. But I just don't feel safe going. I don't feel safe taking my phone there. Because I feel like that they will know who I am. And they will deny me entry, or they could deny me of my rights and whatnot. Like, and it sucks. It really does suck. The very thought in my head. Like, I feel like I need to go, if I want to go to America, I have to go with a bloody burner phone. But even that's not guaranteed be safe passage. You would, and the stupid thing is that I'm literally I don't want to fucking say this, but I gotta fucking say this. I'm a white person, white male. What's the problem with me? Like, I'm not got a criminal record. I'm not a terrorist. And the thing is, it's fucking stupid to say that. It's fucking stupid to say that, because even someone of a person of color or of a different religion, they're treated indifferently simply because of what? Because someone who looks like them, or somebody of the same nationality or the same religion has done something wrong, so that you assume that everyone's the fucking same. No, they're not. But we assume that in society. And you can see, just like that. See how I just turned a conversation like that, and it got me emotionally triggered. Like that. Interesting, isn't it? I'd be deported before I landed to Ginger. Why would you? You're white, says Chris. You haven't heard about you haven't heard about certain white people going to America and being told that they're not allowed entry. Not because their social media's been checked, or because of who they are. Like, literally, a white Canadian woman was held. Why do you think a white Canadian woman was held, Chris? Why do you think a white British band that went to America, why do you think they were turned away at the gates? White people are being turned away in America, not just black and brown people. So yeah, that's why I'm very petrified of ever going to America. Like, I don't ever want to see myself walk through. I don't ever want to see myself walk through those walk to borders and customs. And my missus is on another one. She gets through, or she doesn't get through, and I get through, and all of a sudden we're separated. Like, my paranoia would go through the fucking roof. It would go through the fucking roof. It really, really would. Like, that's how crazy I think about it, guys. But maybe it'll all calm down one day. Maybe it will. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I've just described biologically why I think about Trump, so no, not approaching the US. The land of the free, cues sardonic laughter. Land of the free, indeed. Well, that was not the way I wanted to end the mental health talk, guys. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you guys for your thoughts. Thank you for those who shared today. I know for some shared a bit more than they needed to. Some did not share on things, and that's totally fine. If you've just sat and listened in all the way through, much appreciated it. I hope some of the things we talked about stress, mental health, and depression, and some of these feelings and triggers, especially online safety, I hope some of those things was really helpful and educational. I really hope it did. Was a bit of educational for you guys as well. I really hope it was. So thank you guys all for coming along. I really appreciate it. This wasn't about making any money in any way, shape or form, as you guys know, because otherwise I would have set goals and all that nonsense. But that's not what this is about today. Today was talking about something very, very serious, about you, about me, about our friends, about our families, about something that affects us on a daily basis, and that is our mental health, whether it's a positive or negative or content. Everyone has it. So, and that's why we should all tune in on every Friday at 5 p.m. with Friday Frolics to remind ourselves and put ourselves in a good mood, because it does help us. And there's a reason why I don't do mental health regularly. I do them every couple of months, because if I do mental health live streams every week, for example, or every month, it will feel overwhelming. Feel like too much sort of thing. So that's why I don't do it all the time. However, because it is June, I always look at 3 months in advance. So we are in June, so July, August. Let's go to September. So today is the 4th, right? So I'm thinking September sounds like a good one. I'm literally going to write down my calendar. 3 months from now. Mental health live stream. Wednesday, the 10th of September. I will set that live stream up in due course. Won't do it tonight. But yeah, mental health live stream. Our next one will be in September, if you guys want to join me for that. I may do another one before the end of the year. May. But I think 3 months is a long enough period to have another talk about this. I hope you guys are comfortable with that. If you guys need to talk to someone, like I say, about mental health, quietly with me, if you can, join my Discord. The link for it is in the links tree. If someone could put a link, I don't think I can put there. Can I put a link? Hold on, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can put a direct link to Discord. I don't know if this will work. I don't know if that will take you. I don't know if it will take you straight to the Discord, because I don't have the link in the description, which is kind of silly. But my direct messages are open on Discord. So if you want to drop me a message, you can do. You can also talk to me on Patreon. You don't need to pay to Patreon as well. You can always drop me a message there. So there are channels you can contact me if you want to talk to me. I even have an email at reganelitebusiness@gmail.com if you want to send me an email as well. So there are options under my links tree where you can, if you want to contact me, you can do there. And as Giles pointed out, there's a bunch of social media links. And even if you're on Blue Sky or Twitter or whatnot, you can literally send me a message in some of those, and I can respond if you ever want to talk outside of this live stream. Obviously, I may not respond straight away, but I'm quite active on social media. But yeah, thank you so much, Ginger Lefty, for being a member for 15 months. Thank you so much for your support. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm Miss LB. Is that on Twitter? Sorry. I don't know if that's on Twitter. Apologies. Instagram, Threads. There we go. Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and Twitch there. Thank you so much for sharing that. I am just going to... bloop. I am going to just... I will find you on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook for them, Ginger, just to be sure. I don't know if you're following me on Instagram. I'll have to double check, but just for reference there. But yeah, thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. If you found this live stream informative, helpful to you, please hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. I will be back to normal tomorrow at 8 a.m. with another Good Morning with Reganelite, where I'll give you the weather. I will give you the daily quota. We will talk about another place that I went to in Iceland, because I'm sure you guys are interested in that. And we'll also look at some of the news that is happening in the world as well. So join me for tomorrow's another Good Morning show. The Snowflake Watch will return tomorrow at 8 p.m. as well. So if you want to join me for that, feel free to do so as well. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. I know that things seem bad, but they could be much worse. There's always someone else who has a greater curse, a greater thirst, a hunger, pain, and mercy. Just find whatever you got and try to be thankful first. I wanna feel again, I need a couple friends. I never really understood just how the story ends, but I can feel it's tense, don't know the consequence. The volatility of life, my only confidence. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all.